Do you ever struggle with your skin just not looking right after putting foundation on? Finding that it cakes up, kind of makes your skin look worse than it originally started with? And this video is for you. I have 6 tips to achieve that flawless base when doing your makeup routine. And a lot of it is skincare focused, but I promise you it accumulates and it always is worth it. So let's go through it together. Number 1 tip is to exfoliate. I don't think you need to exfoliate like every single day. I do it on like a weekly basis, maybe twice a week. But whenever my makeup is not looking right, it's looking really cakey or I have dry spots, I always think to myself, when was the last time I exfoliated? I find it such a primary step in having a flawless base routine because I kind of try to think of it in a way of like wood or a wall. If you have wood that hasn't been sanded yet and you put like a primer on top or something to make it look glossy, it's still gonna have that texture. You're still going to see that texture. It's gonna be shiny, but it's gonna have that texture still. And that's exactly how my skin is. If I have these dry spots or just need like a physical exfoliation and I put foundation right over that, it's not gonna change a damn thing. It's gonna be more even in color, but it's not going to even out the texture magically. And obviously our skin is not wood, but I do think it is a great analogy for this type of concept of exfoliate your skin. Depending on the frequency or type of exfoliator you use depends completely on your skin type, if you're sensitive or not, but I'm going to go through a few of my favorites that I've enjoyed throughout the years and kind of just their different purposes. So I do have the Ordinary Glycolic Acid. I'm going to kind of lump these together with like the Paula's Choice, AHA, BHA, as well as the e.l.f. toner. I enjoy these ones. I think my favorite would probably be the Paula's Choice one, though the e.l.f. one is pretty similar in the formula. I will need to look at like the percentage of actives in there, but the formula feels the same, and those two both feel quite moisturizing actually, whereas the Ordinary one feels quite drying. Again, you don't have to get these specific products. These are just different subsets that I have. But I do think these are great if you want more of like a simpler exfoliation routine. And they do tend to be a little less aggressive than like a physical exfoliant, though still do like a patch test if you have sensitive skin. If you do want more of a traditional physical exfoliant, I love the Good Molecules Pineapple Scrub. This is one that I use and I really like it because you can kind of customize how strong you want it to feel on your skin by just adding a few more drops of water. Honestly, I think there is room for a physical exfoliant in everyone's routine. I definitely don't use it as often as I use my chemical exfoliants, but I still try to incorporate it once every couple of weeks because I do think it offers just a good refresh, especially if you do have like dry patches in your skin. Another one that I recently have been using is this exosome shot, and this one, if you're sensitive, I do not recommend this because when you rub it into your skin, it has this really intense prickly sensation. I kind of like it, and I'm honestly, when I finish this bottle, I'm gonna go up in the exosome shots because this one, I felt it like the first few times and now I'm not really feeling it as much, but I kind of like how it feels. It's interesting, but that one, I get serious, like pore decrease. My skin looks amazing the next day. So if you want some serious progress, you don't have sensitive skin, I really recommend that one. So I do think that exfoliation is the primary step in getting a flawless base because again, you just want an even base. And that starts from the bottom layer, the first layer. And rule number 2 is finding a hydrating routine that works for you. Probably like me, where your AM and PM skincare routine are completely different, and that makes sense. When I'm going to bed, I can put more occlusive products on because I'm not putting makeup on over it and I'm going to bed after. And it is a great time for my body to reset, my skin to get hydration that it needs. I have dry skin, so again, this is going to differ based on your skin type. But in the morning, I still need that hydration, but I can't go too heavy because things are going to be moving around and you don't want that for your makeup. And it just makes it much longer that you have to wait for all that product to dry. So either simplify it or just find those base products that work for you. I'll put in my daily morning skincare routine. This works for me. It's taken me a while to get to this, and I don't think it's the specific brand products, it's the specific type of product. For example, like I use a milky toner. Do you need to use a Thayer's one? No. Use one that you like. Use the one that works for you. If you have oily skin, maybe you don't need a milky toner. And again, I will show my routine, but I don't think that you can generalize this for every skin type or even anyone who has dry skin. But this is what I do that works for me. Again, I'm not like loyal to any of these products because I feel like a lot of these kind of do the same thing no matter what brand you're in. So the first one, I really do like the Bioma Face Balancing Mist. That one is really nice. I haven't really seen other products like that. I've seen like the water ones, and I do have like the Trader Joe's Rose Water one, though I prefer that for nighttime. But I don't wash my face in the morning because I have dry skin. If I do feel like I need some kind of refresh, I just go in with a hypochlorous spray and let that dry completely and then proceed with my skincare. For most of these, you do want to let the steps have some time to dry in between, but when I do this product, when I put that product on, you do want to have it on a like wet base or just not completely dry skin. And then the next product that I follow after that, I try to make sure that my skin is like still tacky or dewy, so it can like kind of help absorb that. But then the following steps, I do give a good like 30 seconds to a minute to dry. And that is the next step into achieving a flawless skin routine, is having time to let it sink in. I always find whenever I rush my skincare and rush my makeup, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't last that long, and I'm always disappointed and wish I took the time to just let things dry. I would say the two key most important steps of letting your makeup dry is after your moisturizer and then after your sunscreen. I do after my moisturizer because I tend to go for like a heavier moisturizer, not as heavy as I would for nighttime, but still a heavier formula compared to like a water gel type. So I really want to allow that to really absorb into my skin, because there's been times where I didn't wait and I put my foundation on, it breaks apart, it doesn't last throughout the day. So it is really important to just let that sink in. I love having like a hand fan to kind of speed it up a little bit. I still do like a good 30 seconds for my skin or for my moisturizer, but I am fanning it consistently. And the second one is obviously your sunscreen. That should be your last skincare step, and you really also just want to let that sink in, because I find that when I don't, it starts pilling, it messes with my foundation, and you really just want to let it just create that surface, let it kind of like, it's occlusive, but not as like how you would think of like a cold cream at nighttime. And that goes into my next step, is making sure your sunscreen is compatible with your skincare, because I've run into that before where I love experimenting with different skincare, and I find it sometimes where I'm just like, my makeup does not look as good, I'm doing the same skincare routine, what did I change? It's my sunscreen. So make sure it works well with other products, and I know that can be really frustrating because you don't want to buy a ton of different products just to see if it works with your regular routine. I do think as long as you give it that time to sink in, 9 times out of 10 your skin should look fine. You shouldn't have any issues with it pilling, though I know some formulas just are crappy and affect your makeup and don't look good with it. If you do find that after all of these that's still happening, maybe you do need a new sunscreen. Now you are ready to actually get to the base routine. Like I said, majority of it was going to be skincare focus, but I swear to you, skincare is so important, and getting your makeup to look really good. Because again, it's your skin, you're putting stuff on. You don't want to just like slap layers on and like, it's not going to fix things, especially when there are no skincare benefits to your makeup. Something that I absolutely love doing is mixing my foundations. This is a combination of 2 different foundations, and then I did kind of like spot conceal some concealer and did the rest of my base routine, or did the rest of my makeup. I always find that one formula just like really isn't enough. I also struggle with like shade matching, but then sometimes you get issues with like not enough coverage, too much coverage, but then too much coverage is too matte. So I really love having fun mixing different foundations and just seeing what works for me, because not only is it going to look much better, but then I'm getting used on 2 of my foundations, and I have a lot of foundations. So an extra little tip is, if you do have dry skin, then using a cushion foundation or making your own. I recently did this. I was watching Erin Taylor, and she was saying how she also mixes a ton of foundations together to get her perfect base, and she was saying she actually puts it into a cushion because, you know, every morning you're making a big old mess mixing all of these, and I was having that same issue. So I went on Amazon, bought a little like cushion compact empty. It was like $5, and it has been a blessing. I absolutely love it. I filled it up about 2 weeks ago and it is still going strong. It is getting a little dry, but I find if I press hard enough, then there is still some product down there. I have been absolutely loving that, and it's a great way of just having like a sheer layer of foundation, because it's something that I've done in the past too, of like using a makeup spatula to get a really thin layer of foundation, blending it out, and if I need to add more, I can. Because I was finding that if you use too much, like sometimes it just looks really bad and you're like, what happened? But doing the really thin layers and like building up to what you need just looks so beautiful. It works so well, and you just try it. I swear it looks fabulous. Now, the last step that I want to talk about is kind of like the age-old thing of how setting powder makes that beautiful blurred finish, and I agree with it. It does. However, I feel there are a lot of misconceptions with it because of the amount of filters people use. So I did put some loose powder, like my under eyes. I like to get this area just because I smile a lot and I kind of get like these deep lines here. And then I do my chin, just if I have like acne or anything, I like to cover it up with powder. And the center of my forehead, because when I do my setting spray, I look like a disco ball right there, but it looks normal. I am using just daylight to kind of exemplify this, and no filters. This is my skin, and the whole point of this video is not to say you're not going to have any texture, you're not going to have any pores. No, we're not doing that. We're achieving a cakeless, very smooth foundation base. You can see that. I mean, you can still see my texture. Let me zoom in. I still have pores, I still have bumps on my skin, I still have acne, but you don't see any cakiness. It looks smooth. From a distance, from standing, this is about a foot away from me, standing there, I look pretty good. So this is what we are achieving. We're not achieving like flawless in the sense that you have no texture, you have no pores. We're not here for that. We are here to make a nice, smooth base routine that works for you.